Welcome back to another episode of the Cape CopCast. I'm Lisa Greenberg. I'm one of your hosts.
And I'm Officer Mercedes Simonds. Together we make up the Public Affairs Office. We have a very special guest today.
Very.
We have Canine Van on the podcast with us. What's up, dog?
I really am interested in what a day in your life is like.
Well, I guess he's all bark, no bite today, so...
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring in his dad. Today we have Canine Officer Travis Harrison with us. How long have you been paired with Van?
I got him just over a year ago now. Yeah, it's been great. He's a handful, but I enjoy every second of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How does the process work? Like, do you get them when they're babies, or how old do you usually get them?
Yeah, so that depends. And so you kind of go out and you scout dogs. So we have different places in Florida that, we'll go and put dogs through tests and see which ones we want. When we got Van, I think he was about 14 months old, something like that. But it was obvious in the 6 or 8 dogs that we were looking at, he was the one that stood out and he was the best. And so if you want that dog, you buy the dog there and he comes home to you, and he stayed the night at my house the first night. And that's kind of how it goes. And so it's a little intimidating, especially for me because I'm a first-time handler, but he's been great.
I have to know what it's like to essentially bring this dog home with you every night. This dog is like an extension of you once it becomes yours. What is that like?
Yeah, you like to think he takes on your personality, but they have their own personalities as well, right? So it was pretty obvious once I got him, he was full speed, he was big, he was full speed, and it was going to be up to me to control him. But I've loved that, and so far so good.
Does he get along with your kids and everything? Like your family? Has he integrated, or does he kind of have a separate work life even at home?
It's still pretty separate. I mean, obviously we train the dogs to apprehend people, right? And so what we don't want is for them to get super comfortable at home. I mean, he has a great life, don't get me wrong, but we don't want him laying on the couch and not wanting him to come to work. And so at home, he sleeps in my room with me. He sleeps next to me on the bed, but he's in his crate. So take him out a bunch of times throughout the day, but he goes right back into his crate. So the kids, their interactions are you'll have a milk bone and they'll throw it into the crate, and that's kind of fun. But he gets along great with my other dog, and so they can play together. But with the kids, they just stay separate.
That's so interesting to me. So before you were a canine officer, were you on patrol?
I was on patrol. I was on patrol for about 2 years or so. I started in 21. I worked Charlie night shift for about 2 years. I always loved working with the canine guys that were on my shift. And so when the tryout came up, I put my name in and tried out and was lucky enough to get it. So super lucky, super happy that I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Was that something that you always wanted to do, or did that just kind of pop up and you're like, hey, I like hunting for drugs. I think I'd be a good fit with this?
It wasn't something I started that I wanted to do. I didn't really know. When I first started, it was just I wanted to be a good cop. I want to be a night shift cop. That's all I cared about, right? And so I wanted to catch bad guys. I wanted to, help people that needed help, just like the regular stuff that patrol does. But then, you start going to some priority calls with the canine guys, and we were lucky enough to have good canine guys on my shift. And so you start seeing what they do, and you're like, that's pretty cool. So instead of, for example, taking a perimeter spot and someone's running and the canine guys get to go run after them, I'm like, I'm faster than them. I should be the one running after them, So it's something to strive for, to want to do. And then so when that spot opened up, I definitely wanted it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I heard low key that you're actually kind of one of the fastest runners on the department. Can you confirm or deny?
I haven't raced too many people.
And can you keep up with your dog?
No, I cannot. Well, so I can keep up with most humans. The first time I sent Van after somebody, I thought it would be he's pulling away from me a little bit, but no, it was and he's gone. He's probably twice as fast as I am.
Dang.
So it's something to get used to. But me and Van, we like running after people for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious, if you weren't sitting here doing this podcast, obviously, what's a day in your life with a canine like?
I got 2 great kids at home and a beautiful wife, and so they go to school, and so I like to take them to school. 6:30, I wake up, take Van out and let him run around, or take him on a walk, something like that, and then put him in, take the kids to school, come back. As soon as I get back, take him out again, and that's usually a long walk. and then like some obedience training, stuff like that, kind of some basic stuff. Let them go to the bathroom again, and then maybe do some stuff around the house. I love playing golf, so if I can get out to the driving range, I'll try to sneak out to the driving range, and then another session with Van. I'll try to take a, an hour, 2 hour nap, something like that, and then straight into work.
Your shift starts at 5.
Yeah, I start at 5, go to 2. A lot of times it goes a little longer than 2 because things happen. But yeah, and then I get home, and then he eats again, and then we do it all again the next day.
So you get like 4 hours of sleep? It's terrible.
Yeah, I'll get about 4 hours, and then I'll take a nap during the day. So it's really not that bad.
It's kind of a price you pay to work the night shift, which is what you wanted, plus have kids and be involved. So,
yeah,
sometimes sleep goes on the back burner.
Right.
I get it. I think also people think of canine and they think of the dog sniffing around for the drugs and all that, but there is so much more to it than that. What other things do you guys utilize canines for?
Well, on the road, I try to use him for as many things as I can because he's way more talented than I am. So, he's usually right and I'm usually wrong. It's kind of how it works, right? So it could be things like article searches. Someone drops something in the middle of the field. I will never find that. He will find it almost right away. Area searches, obviously tracks. And so we'll track different kind of people, right? So we'll track a bad guy that ran, and we'll track a kid that ran away, in the middle of the night from home that isn't maybe going very fast, that is just lost. And obviously the drug stuff, that's a big part of what we do, and that's an important part of what we do. We can use them for crowd control, that kind of thing, because people are more scared of the dog than they are of just about anything else. And so usually the dog works.
Yeah, the fear that dogs and getting bit instill into so many people is just kind of amazing to see how quickly people surrender. Because like you say you're going to get tased, they keep doing whatever they're doing. But if you say you're going to get bit, they stop.
100%. Yeah. And they'll do crazy things if they know they're going to get bit. So I've been in the unit for a year, but only been like a certified trainer for like 7 months. I've had 3 people. We've tracked them, and it was either the dog or the water, and they've all jumped in the water. So they're choosing the alligators over my dog, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, sometimes I wish they wouldn't. But that's just the power of the dog, right? And it's fair; they should be probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've been around Van, and even I'm like, he's not the one that is like, okay, let me come over and snuggle with you and pet.
No,
so
he's not.
He's more not. Business.
He might be that way with you, but he looks vicious.
Yeah, he's not even that way with me.
Oh, okay.
He's nice. I like to think he loves me, but
he has his own way of showing it.
Yeah, he's always high speed. So
at least he's loyal.
He's ready to work.
Yes.
We love that quality. We love a work ethic.
Yes. I feel bad for whoever gets bit by him.
Yeah.
I'm even in the suit. I'm like, oh man, that's
it's going to leave a mark.
That stinks.
One of the other things too, what were you doing before working for the Cape Coral Police Department?
So I'm from Southern California. I moved to Southwest Florida in 2011. I played for the Minnesota Twins organization for like 6 or 7 years. And then once they finally fired me doing that, I did some real estate, things. And then I just decided that I want to do something fun again. And it was just random. I was like, I want to be a cop. Let's see how this goes. And then signed up, did the oral board and stuff here. And they sent me to the police academy. And here I am. I love it. So
what drew you in? And is that why you run so fast?
I don't run as fast anymore, but I don't know exactly what drew me into being a cop. I guess when I was not doing much and I was doing the real estate thing, it just wasn't my speed. I wanted more action. I wanted like a little more fun and that kind of thing. And so I gave it a shot, and it's worked out so far.
What position did you play in baseball?
It's good. A lot of them.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're not very good.
Hey, I'm sure you're better than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah, so I played third base, played left field. I played right field, played center field, played first base, So I played a bunch of different ones, but I would say mostly third base and left field.
Yeah, it hits home.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh boy, I missed it.
I said she loves her
hits
puns.
Home.
But
Gotcha.
That's awesome. Okay, so you went from baseball to real estate to police work, and now you're a canine officer.
Yeah.
What's next?
Canine officer. I don't see. I mean, that's now that could obviously change, but I don't see me doing anything other than canine. kind of what I want to do. I enjoy, being out there and like being the first of the calls, being the guy that catches the guy. I want to be the guy that makes the decisions on the spot and like handles it. I enjoy that. My answer could be different. People tell me all the time my answers probably will be different in a couple years, but as of right now, I don't see me doing anything other than hopefully what I'm doing now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably committed to the working lifespan of the dog and then they retire with you.
Right.
But then do you have the option of getting another dog, or like what is that kind of like the transition period of like you decide like once your dog is done working, whenever it comes to that, for whatever reason, to either get another dog or move on to like a different spot?
Yeah, I would say obviously that's not my call to make, but if I would guess that if you do a really good job with your first dog, then and the unit still wants you and the sergeant still wants you and all that, then you'll get another opportunity to get another dog. And so that's my plan, just to keep going and see where it takes me. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. I mean, I'm sure if after the first one, if you're like, this was not what I was signing up for, and I want to start sleeping and work days or something like that, then you could probably get out. But yeah, I have no interest in doing that.
Who needs sleep?
Right.
And it's interesting too, because I think people probably think that whoever decides to become a canine officer must be like a dog person, but these aren't really dogs in the typical sense.
No, I'll be in the neighborhood or something, like walking them, and I'm like being careful. Someone will come up to me, oh, I had a German Shepherd, and it's like, I know what they're like. They're crazy. I'm like, and so you're being nice. You're like, yeah, okay, I get it. I'm like, you guys have no idea.
No,
like, this is not that. It's like completely different.
Right. This isn't going to give you kisses and cuddle.
No. So yeah, I mean, I have another golden retriever at the house, and she's kind of like a little overweight, fat golden retriever, and she's great. It's like the complete opposite of this animal.
Just for the people who want to know, Van is a German Shepherd, right?
That's what they tell me. I still don't believe it.
He's huge.
Yeah. Is he like part bear? Is that the other guy?
I think so. He might be like
part
wild animal, part moose, part German Shepherd. Yeah, he has a really big head and he's really big. But that's what I wanted. Like if I'm gonna do it, like give me the biggest, baddest dog I can get, and let's go do it. So, and he looks more intimidating than he is with me. So
with you,
yeah, he's not too bad.
You guys are best friends.
I like to think so. Yeah. And he'll let me know. He'll let me know when he's unhappy.
Yeah.
What's his reward that he gravitates toward if he does good things?
Usually like a tug. So obviously the highest thing on the totem pole for him is biting somebody, right? So biting someone in a sleeve in a suit, someone not in a sleeve in a suit. that's the best reward for him. And I want to, that's what you want. You want to keep it that way. But he gets rewarded with tugs, treats if we're doing like tracking training, stuff like that.
Are there any other fun facts before we close shop?
So my dog's name is Canine Van, and people always ask like, why is your dog named Van? So he's actually named after Deputy Chief Phil Van Landschoot.
Oh,
and so obviously he's retiring soon. So there's probably not a whole lot of people that put those together, but
I didn't.
That's who he's named after. So Deputy Chief, when he's done, at least there'll be a dog named after him still working, hopefully. So that'd be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Did you pick the name or did someone else pick the name?
No, Sergeant Drosso did. Because they get like some government name, like for example, Van's from Hungary. And then so you can name him. And then as soon as we picked him up, put him in the back of the truck on the way home, Sergeant Drosso texted me. He said, congratulations, whatever, your dog's going to be named Van, named after Deputy Chief Van Landschoot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of?
I don't think so, guys. Thanks for what you're doing. This is fun.
That was great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
We appreciate you.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Stay safe. Thank you for listening to the Cape CopCast, where we dive into the heart of the Cape Coral Police Department safety initiatives, community relations, and the insightful stories of different officers that make up our department.
Please like and share our podcast. If you have feedback, you can email capepdpao@capecoral.gov. And remember to follow us on social media. Our handle is @CapePD on all major platforms. Stay safe, stay Cape.